Are you pushing it?
I
Push it real good.
Greetings. This is the Long in the Boot podcast, the podcast coming to you from the heel of the boot of Southwest Louisiana. I am your host, G Long, and sitting across the way, as always, is Deb.
Hi, all.
Hey, Deb.
You're sounding strong and sassy today.
Oh, it's because I have not had my heroin yet.
You keep telling people that.
No. One day I'll get somebody to believe it.
Is that what you're going for? Please think I'm on heroin. I'm on the smack, people.
Please, sir, could I have some heroin? I don't actually do heroin.
There.
Oh, man. Hey, if you want to reach us, you can, go to longintheboot@gmail.com. Call us at 337-502-9011. You can go and check out all the old podcasts at longintheboot.com.
And people did last week.
I know.
Since we didn't have a podcast, we should do that more often. Take a break.
It's amazing how many people listen to our podcast and we didn't do one.
Yeah. Going back in the old days.
Well, I mean, honestly, isn't everyone not listen? Wait, no, never mind.
You don't even know what you're saying.
I had a thought, but it went away.
It fluttered out of your head.
It fluttered.
That's it.
That's right. We couldn't do a podcast last week.
Because of severe thunderstorms, straight line winds, trees befuddling us. And
power lines down.
Yes. Our daughter's brand new power line.
Yeah, trees laying on the power line.
Yeah. There's been a lot of chainsawing and limb picking up.
And for a short time, there was lots of generators
And there were generators running. We had no power.
But we got power. And by the way, I feel horrible for all the people that took longer. We got lucky. I consider our power to
36 hours. Our power was back up.
Yeah, which
there were people,
for some people it went way longer.
Yeah, but they live out in the marshy boonies and
the marshy boonies.
The marshy boonies.
The marshy boonies.
And it's scary for those linemen and women.
Marshy Booney, Louisiana.
I'm sure there's a place.
There probably is.
The power, I just said linemen, but is that the appropriate moniker anymore? Or are there line women?
There probably could be. I'm
How many women are up there doing the lineman job?
I don't know.
Okay. Well,
I guess then if there are women doing it, then a female needs to redo Glenn Campbell's song.
Oh.
Lineman for the county, right?
Line person. Are there women? Lineman.
Why it's just what?
It's a question I want to know.
I hate that stuff. Anyway, if like I said, we couldn't do a podcast last week. No electricity, and I did have a great suggestion for recording it, but that's what we do. We record it. So
yeah, it was extremely helpful, almost on.
I appreciate the offers. I appreciate the offers for help and for getting the podcast out, but honestly, it isn't going to hurt anybody if we're a week late.
Our sponsors aren't going to lose any.
Yeah, I know our because the millions of dollars we make on our sponsorship deals.
All right. AI gave me an answer. Yes, there are female linemen, though the number is still small. According to a 2021 survey, 5.6% of line workers in the U.S. are women. I'll bet it's a pretty brutal job on the upper body. I bet you need strong shoulders to be a lineman. But you know what?
And there are women that can do it.
If women are firefighters and, Marines.
Sure. And with Biden's new Title IX rules, why not?
Sure. Why not? Okay. Well, I got the answer to the question.
Speaking of, our episode today is going to be just a bunch of stuff that
ramblings.
Yeah, because 3 weeks and we got many things, and rather than pick a major overarching topic, we had lots of little things to talk about. So we usually call these potpourri episodes.
Yes.
And
this one did start with Read the Room.
That's kind of the overarching theme. You keep seeing stuff, and it's like, man, does anybody even read the room anymore?
I know.
You've all been there. You've all been there.
You can see where society's going, and yet
you go into a room where a bunch of people, let's say, are really pissed off, and you're happy as can be, but the moment you walk in, you immediately
should adjust
feel something's different, and you do a quick read of the room, and nobody's faces are happy or relaxed. Everybody's brows are furrowed.
And unless you're paid to be there and change their mood.
And congratulations, you've read the room.
Yes.
Biden, I assume, sees that a lot when he walks in to give a press conference now. I don't know if he can see the room.
I don't know if he can see the room or if he even feels anything anymore. He may be numb.
I saw a shot of the reporters the other day during one of his press conferences, and all of them had that furrowed brow.
Like they were perplexed.
Now, either that or they're just repeating their one question in their head over and over and over again so that they make sure they don't stumble if he picks them, you know?
Oh, yeah, because you don't want to do that.
I've got a picture of Biden here, and I would just like to behind him is this magnificent picture of Teddy Roosevelt on a stallion, looking all just, well, in fact, it's probably the picture that statue's based off of.
Oh, the one they've changed.
Because his hand's on his hip. And
looking very manly and
it's right behind Biden, and I just can't think of a more juxtaposed image
for the leader of our country,
or the juxtaposition within the image of the images.
We need a Teddy. We need a manly man. And I'm sorry, it's not DT.
You know, speaking of the Title IX decision, everybody's getting all up in arms about the trans athlete thing that's in there. That's going to make it basically so high schools have to recognize trans athletes, and we have to. Yeah. But actually, there is something in that nobody's bitching about, but I think is actually worse.
Oh, did you read it?
I did.
Oh, okay.
And one of the things it does is it gets rid of due process for any students accused of sexual misconduct.
Wait a minute. Due process as in your rights as an accused?
Well, if you are accused of sexual misconduct, we must be able to admit that occasionally someone's accused of something they didn't do. Correct?
Yes.
All right. Well, many colleges have a policy where if that happens, the person accused is immediately kicked out of school.
Oh,
period.
Without any due process.
And under the new regulations, a student can be found responsible for sexually assaulting a classmate because a single administrator believed there was a 51% chance they had committed the assault.
Okay, a 51% that he believed?
And this is one.
Yeah, just one person.
One single administrator. Any administrator.
Okay.
And the accused student is not allowed to know who accused him.
And the circumstances?
Or a hearing in which he can defend himself.
Well, that's just communism.
They can just be bounced out of college.
Wow. Okay. And does the college have to give them back their tuition for that semester? I mean, if you're going to.
No. And colleges can now use this policy even if the assault happens off campus.
Oh, wow.
Between people in like a private apartment.
So the person making the accusation has all the power now. So again, you know what we've done as a society? We're just swinging that pendulum back to the other extreme. We used to just blame the victim. What were you wearing? Where were you at? Did you drink? And now we're just going to put it all on the accuser. They're the ones that they're going to be telling the truth. Right.
And we have to, again, I am not saying don't believe women. And let's face it, most of the time in pretty much 99.9% of the cases, it's going to be a woman accusing a man.
Oh, we think.
Come on.
But you started this conversation with the trans.
No, that's in this same.
Yeah, in this legislation.
In this same Title IX executive order.
So you want to do a scenario then where a trans is making an accusation or a trans?
No, we don't need to bring up the trans thing at all. Everybody's already set on that one.
Okay, so it's just hidden.
That's like arguing abortion.
It's hidden in the legislation, and that's
that part. Yeah, but
because they do that all the time.
This is taking away your rights as an American.
Yeah.
And
you've been accused of something.
You've been accused of something.
You have a right to defend yourself, but you need to know who said it.
And think about this. You are trivializing the accusation of sexual assault if you're going to take all accusations of sexual assault as legit.
As fact. Because
There's going to be people.
Well, there will be people with motivations
who will use this.
Yes, because there are crazy mofos out there. Our babies are scared.
One student at a California university was deported after a college believed his accuser. He was just deported.
Well, I would say that each case is individual, and to put legislation that's blanket across everything.
A person should have the right to know who is accusing them of a crime.
Part of our democracy, part of our Bill of Rights.
Because this is going to be put into their permanent record.
So would they then say, are these state colleges or these private colleges?
No, this is now across the board.
Okay, is this just Louisiana?
No. It's everywhere.
This is federal.
Yes.
Okay. I was curious because you were talking earlier about
when Trump was president, he put in a codicil that said
he did.
You had to be able to defend yourself and know your accuser in a college sexual assault accusation.
Yeah.
Which is the law. How is it that we have this college?
Yeah, that is allowed to
just basically circumvent what are your federal rights? And people say, well, it's a private institution.
Well, that's what I was questioning.
No, but they're not.
They
get huge amounts of money from the government.
Exactly. Hence the student loan fiasco.
So any institution that takes federal dollars should have to obey federal law.
Federal law, yes. Okay.
It's
all right.
simple.
So it's hidden in there, and this is always the point.
So I just wanted to bring that up because I heard all the high schools are now piling onto the lawsuit to get rid of. Basically, they're suing the government.
Yes.
For the same thing, for the Title IX rules as they apply to transgender students.
Yes, as athletes.
Not just athletes. Well, it is athletics mostly, but it would apply across the board because you'd have to then create separate facilities and
men who are thinking they're women trying to go in the women's bathroom.
No, these are children, though. These are children.
We're not talking college anymore.
No, but I'm just saying this applies to children. Well, it actually applies to high schools as well.
Okay.
I guess it would apply all the way down to kindergarten.
Well, then wouldn't that lend into Jeff Landry's whole let's get rid of high schools, public education, and then?
Well, Jeff Landry says that parents are the best determiner of who should be educated, but we don't give parents the same leeway when it comes to other things. Like whether or not their kid wants to change his gender.
You're going down a slippery slope. Everything's slippery in the state of Louisiana right now.
Can we agree that not all parents are the best parents to be making decisions for their kids? I'm sorry.
I think that's the danger zone you're in.
I don't think it is because I think most people know whether or not they're good parents. I actually do. When you struggle raising your children, you're aware of it. You're not aware.
Sometimes you're just selfish and you're not thinking about your kids.
I'm going to give people the credit.
You only think about the kids and you're not.
But I'm going to give people the credit that most people who parent their children.
Think about how you said that.
Well, I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
What I'm trying to say is I believe that most people do the very best they can in the situations they have to raise their children.
And themselves.
But I don't know that every parent should be responsible for their child's education across the board.
And I guess really
because I've had too many instances of children who clearly were having serious issues at home.
Yeah.
And I would assume their parents probably weren't the best people to be making decisions.
They maybe got help through the school system.
The school was the safe place for the student.
We're not going to go into the whole public education, private education, and parents schooling
Actually, I was going to talk a little bit about it.
Where are you going there? I see your list over there.
I got a whole list of stuff. We could talk about just for fun.
Let's move on. I'm not having a good time on this date.
Okay. Well, I'm sorry.
Well, let's change the topic then.
Okay.
I missed my date last time. It's been a month. And I need some positive reinforcement.
Oh, you're pretty.
Oh. I had a really rough morning outside.
You're so pretty.
There you go. See, folks, this is all you need to do. That's all you need to do. And women just cave. You just cave.
I have do you have something? I have another thing that I thought
No, I'm saving mine for the end because it's trivial and frivolous and it's one of my stories.
Well, get this.
Okay.
In San Diego, they have decided they're tired of it. And they're cracking down.
What is San Diego tired of?
They're cracking down on groups exercising outside without a permit.
You got to have a permit to exercise outside? Is that body odor? What's the deal?
Anybody who conducts classes in a public space and gets money for it now has to have a permit.
Now they're professionals.
If they have more than 4 people.
Okay. Wow. Then you need tiny little groups of yoga and boot camp people out there doing their thing.
I like the way the article starts.
We'll gather in groups of 3.
They come in packs. They're often crunchy. They're chameleons, a downward-facing dog one moment, a cobra or a child the next. They do handstands and breathe peacefully, and that needs to stop.
We need to quit that.
At least it shouldn't happen on public land.
They haven't been like getting into fights with dog owners who don't pick up their dog poop and stuff? None of that?
Anything. Any commercial, recreational activity with more than 4 people has to have a permit if money is changing hands.
Okay, well then my next question is, how much does the permit cost?
You know, that's one of my complaints. There is nowhere in this entire article does it talk about how much the permit costs.
The city has to be gaining something. I mean, why keep paperwork on a damn little fitness group?
If I bring 100 people to the park and don't charge them, no problem.
But that's causing an issue.
No, they want money. It's a stupid little tax.
Okay, San Diego, you're dumb.
They're breaking up classes on the beach because the beaches are public. They're issuing tickets to the teachers of these classes.
Okay. Think about what that does in a city environment, though. Okay, so City Hall now has to keep records.
Well, one person said, I went to get a permit, and no one seemed to know what I was talking about.
Oh, holy shit.
So the cops are out there ticketing people. And
well, so then they're just raking in the dough. That's all that's happening.
The law was originally created to stop permitless food vendors from just stopping and setting up and selling food.
Oh, like an individual. It's not a food truck. It's a food cart.
Yeah, whatever. Hot dogs.
So food trucks have to have a license or a permit.
Yeah, if you were selling hot dogs, you needed to have a permit.
Not. Well, you don't know what's in that hot dog. You don't know how old that bread is.
And the law was passed, and in the law it says to ensure public spaces remain safe and accessible. And I mean, you can imagine what would happen if a whole group of people switched from, say, a bridge pose to a wheel pose.
Yeah.
Somebody could get hurt.
Well, you know, didn't we have like an era where everybody like broke into dance in public places and they filmed it and it was great and we all laughed and said, oh, that was really cool. So now it's a crime.
And then how do you police it?
Yeah. Well, you go and write a ticket.
Hey, everybody, thank you for your payments. Everybody, if the police come to try to ticket us, everybody just say, I'm doing it for free. Can we all agree to do that?
Or the teacher gets a license and they duct tape it to their ass. And when they're in down dog, here's my permit.
I'd have it right down there by my sweaty junk. I'd pull out my permit. Here it is.
My butt
Here, officer. Enjoy the butt fruit.
Good God. Okay, move on from
America.
San Diego. Yes. Yay, San Diego for being the #1 stupid story today.
I know there's all kinds of Louisiana stuff too.
Diddy.
Oh, Diddy?
Do we do Diddy at all?
Did we do Diddy?
Well, when it first came out, I was not shocked. There are so many positive, motivating quotes out there by Diddy over the years where it seemed like he had it. Where it seemed like he had it together, like he was a good role model for people, and then it turns out he's more of a Bill Cosby than a.
Well, a Bill Cosby likes to beat people up.
Than a Dennis. No, not Dennis Rodman. Tell me a good role model today. Do we have a good role model in society today? Somebody that people look up to, like we used to with Bill Cosby.
A father figure today.
Yeah.
A father. Well,
Mr. Rogers is
they've
gone.
been trashing father figures for so long.
Mr.
Do we
Rogers
actually have one now?
We don't. I don't know. I don't know who it would
Al
be.
Bundy?
I hope you know what. It's just the individuals out there. Who?
Homer Simpson.
No,
he's kind of a screw up, but he truly loves his family.
Well, so I think Diddy he didn't read the room. He didn't understand that he was being filmed all the time. So when you're going to act up like that, you're going to be on camera and you're going to get caught.
First, we can talk about his skill at keeping his towel on. I just want to say in that video,
he did hold on to that towel.
Doing all that physical labor, the kicking and the choking and the pulling down.
Yes.
And he kept his towel on the entire time. So he was concerned. But here's the question. He said later he didn't know that there were cameras.
Then why were you
hanging on to the towel?
Why were you worried
care?
about the towel? Yeah.
What do you care about?
And if you did know, that you were being filmed.
And you did it anyway?
And you did it anyway.
You thought you were powerful enough.
Yeah, see, that's my issue with
mine
the
too.
elitism and
across America.
That was where our topic actually originally started, with this idea of the elite and how they are so bold now, and they're not
reading the room.
They're not reading the society,
and the room is the country.
Tired. People are fed up. Our groceries have doubled. Everything has increased. They're I won't say it. I almost said it.
And you know what else? It lent itself also at that same time. We ended up going straight into from the thing to cash. So that's
to the idea that capitalism is shifting.
We're giving everyone an insight on how our conversations
and
go.
And everybody was worried about socialism for so long, and then communism, and then capitalism is king.
Capitalism is king.
What are businesses doing? What is industry? The media, advertisers.
Well, media has been using celebrity basically as almost like royalty in our country.
Well, now we have reality celebrities because everybody's on TikTok and they're all influencers.
Cameras, the great reveal.
Yes.
That's one of the things that's happening now is as people get more and more information, the great reveal is happening. And
we see
Sean Puffy Diddy Combs.
Whatever the hell his name was.
Whatever. Anyway.
Diddy is easy.
He's now been accused by several other women. The woman he did the damage to, she
filed charges immediately, didn't she? Right after the event,
they settled like the next day,
and then she was unlike Donald Trump. She kept her mouth shut and said, "I signed a paper of non-disclosure."
And she's still not talking about it.
She's still not talking. She did the right thing.
But now there's like four more women have come out and said, and then again, are they all telling the truth? I don't know.
He's a rich man, so there's always.
But they were probably
question.
Scared. Clearly, he thought he was powerful enough to prevent this from getting out.
And
therefore,
he was for a while.
Assuming he's powerful, they must have thought he was powerful enough.
So they weren't bright enough to realize.
Well, why did women not accuse Trump before? Same thing. It's power.
Power.
You don't feel like you have any chance against this kind of power.
Over your own.
And we can agree that powerful people often use very nefarious means to shut down criticism.
Yes.
All kinds of ways.
Well, because it's easy to befuddle the whole message, just like you said.
And in fact, this also led to our conversation about everything's going to be a rental payment.
Yes.
Because the powerful don't want us to own anything.
No, it's easier if we just make monthly
Now, the easiest
payments.
way to look at it is with software. Adobe, remember them? Remember them?
I do.
You can't buy any of the Adobe products anymore as standalone products. You have to everything Adobe Acrobat, Adobe Audacity, or Adobe Photoshop. I forget all of them. Designer, I think, or whatever it's called.
All their programs.
Anyway, there's like 20 different programs now. You can't just purchase them.
Okay.
You have to rent them, and it's a monthly fee, and it's not cheap. It is, I think, quite expensive.
Well, and if they get you a little at a time, it's like when I finally said, okay, I'm not doing Sirius satellite anymore. I've had it for years. I buy a car and they give it to me and I like it. And I think I like it. And then I come to realize they're just feeding me the same shit over and over and over again. And if I'm in the car too long, I hear, you go to work, you hear a series of songs. You come home 8 hours later and it's the same series of songs. And you suddenly realize I'm missing out on a lot. And it's only $6 a month.
Yeah.
It's only $8 a month. And you don't think about how $8 a month, $10 a month,
$2 a month, $4
What are you paying for your entertainment? What are you paying for your phone? Most people have sat down. They know what their entertainment payment is.
Well, all of our payments are going up on a regular basis.
Whether you got to cut things
because they don't want you to
bring it back to where it was.
They don't want you to own it. Is my point. I have a feeling that cars are going to be that way eventually.
Everything's a lease.
Well, everything will be a lease because the payment for owning it and leasing it will meet. They're getting closer and closer all the time.
Yeah.
And cars are getting so complicated that if they break down, it's a fortune to fix one. You're better off leasing.
And then you come to the maintenance side of things.
Right. So you'll get a license for a particular car, and it'll be based on your income, obviously.
Drive it this many years. Yeah, because you can't be poor and driving.
Sir, we run your credit. You can't have an Audi.
This is your
We have
range.
this POS right over here.
You're in this range right here. These are your cars. Choose from these two. I only get two? Yes. Two.
Yes. That's your choice. A one-person or a two-person
Or a
car.
two-person car. That's
it. And bicycles, we already know, like
and
e-bikes
your
everywhere.
mileage every month is limited.
Yeah, of course.
You can't drive just wherever you want, whenever you want. Because why would you need to? If you need to purchase anything, Amazon's right there.
Oh, yeah.
Amazon's
Absolutely.
right there.
Rental, everything. How'd we go from Diddy to this? See, this is how conversations actually go. By the way, Diddy also has been America's best optical. They carried his line of glasses.
Oh,
yeah.
So women, if you're truly conscientious women, you're going to have to get rid of those. You're going to crush them. Are we going to have a eyeglass crushing?
Oh yeah, burning. No, we can't burn it.
But Diddy took control of the situation
And
almost immediately.
Sort of.
Confessed. Apologized, took responsibility, said he was seeking help, and then he asked for forgiveness from God.
What about the woman?
But then about 3 days after that perfect triage
storm of bullshit.
Storm of triage to save his career, other women started coming forward.
Yeah.
So,
by the way, in his apology, he did not apologize to the woman and later said, I couldn't apologize to her because under the terms of the settlement, I'm not allowed to mention her.
Oh, so he used his own. Ooh,
Nice,
Diddy,
huh?
man,
Diddy.
You went to the school of Kardashians.
Diddy done it?
Yeah.
Speaking of, just read an article today about how their star has peaked.
Has it?
It finally has.
You know what though? They've done a long
They've
run.
rode the wave for a good long time, but the American people are finally like, no, we don't care.
I was done with it.
We don't care.
Year one.
We don't care.
And then it just continued. So at some point, I gained some respect for their.
And then they do a
business
show that's
savvy.
supposedly a reality show that's anything
No, they revealed all. We learned reality shows weren't reality.
None of them.
Very early on.
Yeah.
Very early on. But America loves that.
The only kind of reality shows that are real are hidden camera things where absolutely no one possibly knows.
Well, then you go to jail.
Yeah, or you've
been secretly filmed. Did you see was it American Airlines with the little girl in the bathroom, in the first class bathroom?
Oh, the guy that put the phone
he had
in
the
there?
phone camera down there and the toilet seat, and it said out of order. So a 14-year-old, a 7-year-old, and a 9-year-old, I think, were the ones that had been filmed. But they blamed the 9-year-old when the 14-year-old went back to their seat and said, "Look at this," took a picture of it and showed the parent. The parent freaked out, as you should. So it was a staff member on flight. I don't know if it was a flight attendant or not. And sure enough, the lawyers for the airline used the defense that the 9-year-old should have known they were being recorded. It was the kid's fault.
They should have known. Yeah, it's kid's fault.
Now, of course, the airline immediately within a week realized, oh, this sounds horrible, and said,
Think about the logic of that statement. The kid should have known. So basically,
I'm used to having a camera filming.
The kid should have known it was a camera.
Yes.
And then this wouldn't have happened.
Yes.
What?
Well,
Wait,
I'm still curious.
How does that work?
So did they not read the sign? I don't know how
they didn't read the room.
How they didn't read the room.
Got to read the bathroom.
I don't know how they didn't understand. It said right above, because I saw a picture of the phone taped to the toilet seat lid, and it said out of order.
Yes.
But then you could see the light from the cell phone.
So those kids were going to use that bathroom anyway?
So there were some pictures, some, indecent photos.
Well,
so some of the kids said,
hey,
the hell with it. I'm going anyway.
I'm going in.
I don't care.
I got to go.
Yeah. I got to go. That was the first class.
Honestly, how do those bathrooms not work? I mean, it's just a trap door.
Yeah. I don't know how it
Water
could be
would be the
broken.
only thing.
It's going to go out. It's going to.
I would assume.
Yeah. I don't know. It was a weird story. And I thought, wow, those airline
and those
lawyers.
people were in first class.
Yes. The airline lawyers did not read the room.
How dare the airlines have a toilet that doesn't work in first class?
And then blame the kid for sitting down and being exposed. You should have realized there was a camera there.
You little hussy.
Because in your 9 years of life, you've been filmed in bathrooms.
You know how those 9-year-olds are.
All right. That was unusual. I thought it was.
That was
silly.
unusual.
Okay. So
hey, here's something not so unusual in Louisiana.
Is it a read the room story?
Well, in a way, it's ethics.
In Louisiana.
I know. I love these.
Oxymoron.
The irony every time I say it.
Go.
Here, wait. I want to do that again because it just gives me a little chill. Ethics, Louisiana. That tickles. Anyway.
It's odd to see you do that.
I'm sorry.
You squealed like a little girl.
Cracks me up because they make us watch that stupid video every year about ethics and
but you have
all the
to
things
admit,
teachers can't do.
It has gotten better in the decade that we've had to watch it.
Yeah, they're using like technology from 2000 now instead of 1980.
It is more professional. Okay. Anyway, what's your story about ethics in the Louisiana?
The voice is still so annoying.
Go.
All right. When you get one right, remember that guy that goes, all right.
Get to it.
Louisiana is going to be shifting its medical marijuana farming to private contractors. And while that story in and of itself isn't that big a deal,
okay.
2 universities in Louisiana have the rights to grow medical marijuana in Louisiana.
LSU. And they're the only colleges
LSU and Southern.
in the country. Oh, Southern is the other one. Yeah.
Yes.
Only 2 colleges in the country that are allowed to do that.
And Landry is going to sign it. It's already ready to go, ready to sign. These are the only 2 higher education systems, like you said, in the country that grow weed.
For medical
Yes.
use.
But it's time to get them out of that business, let them focus on higher education.
And let them focus on football, damn it.
To get their cannabis farms up and running, the colleges partner with private contractors, Good Day Farm and Illyra Holistic Healthcare. I love that one. The bill will transfer the cultivator licenses to those companies and allow them to keep them as long as they file for renewal each year.
Good Day Farm has billboards everywhere, so they're already in.
They're already here.
I've never heard of the other one.
Okay. Good Day Farm, which has a much larger operation than Illyra, has close ties to lawmakers who have given it a near exclusive grip on the market.
God.
The company's primary shareholder is shipbuilding billionaire Donald Boise Bollinger, one of the wealthiest people in the state of Louisiana and nearly one of the major Republican donors in Louisiana. The company's president is John Davis, husband of State Representative Paula Davis of Baton Rouge.
Holy shit snacks. So
Good Day Farm did not respond to a request for comment Monday. Well, no shit. This looked kind of like an ethical violation to me.
The optics on that look bad. I'm saying
read the
they
room.
didn't read the room. Exactly.
Former State Representative Joe Marino, who played an instrumental role in helping shape much of Louisiana's medical marijuana policy, has criticized the legislation loudly, saying lawmakers are simply helping one company dominate the market. It's a monopoly.
It's a monopoly.
No other companies will get a chance to apply for a grower's license unless either Good Day Farm or Illyra relinquish their license. 2 licenses, period, end of story.
For the whole state. So they're controlling it like the casinos.
Correct. While in office, Marino tried to pass legislation that would have expanded the number of cultivation licenses, arguing that allowing more growers into the industry would help meet the demand for medical marijuana and make it more affordable for patients at the state's licensed dispensaries.
Well, they don't want to do that.
No.
That would cut into money? Profit. What the hell?
Less money?
That politician's husband, he's got to make that jack.
Yeah, well.
He needs that money.
So anyway, Louisiana, we're all about,
Okay.
Colleges need to focus on education and not growing marijuana. Like the entire college was focused on growing weed.
Yes, everybody. It was just their little agricultural division.
Now, there's some student somewhere at LSU who's like in his 6th year, and he's been working at the farm for.
He's growing on the farm.
Oh man, shit! I gotta get a new job.
I gotta get a new job. All right. Well, yeah, as long as Landry's in office. I think that eventually you think they'll bring forth legislation proposed for legalization across the board?
No. And because it keeps it expensive. Because they're fixing to get rid of the THC gummies that you can buy over the counter. The Delta 9s and the Delta 8s are about to be banned in Louisiana. Because they can't And I don't know where Louisiana people will possibly go for those after they ban it. Because, you can't cross the state lines. We all know.
No. You know what?
They did such a good job keeping drugs out of Louisiana.
To begin with.
That we know that.
They're not coming. And now they can just
imagine people getting busted for
gummies?
Delta 9 gummies.
Little chocolate cakes and, oh my God.
Little cookies.
We are so ridiculous. Okay. Then we got that. All right. That's another rabbit hole.
We got, I've got one big story about history and violence, but should we save that?
It was a read the room story. It's about equality in society, the thing that we're bitching about the most.
Well, I still have the 10 Commandments.
Yes, because that's going to make our schools better. First in the country. Woo!
Woo!
Louisiana's first.
I have a question, though.
We don't have anything against the 10 Commandments.
Which version?
They're a good, solid set of rules.
Which version of the 10 Commandments?
It's the sentiment.
No. Which version of the Ten Commandments?
Well,
they said Ten Commandments have
the right version, G.
And which one is that?
The correct one,
Which book?
You live in Louisiana.
Oh, the King James Bible. Not the Catholic Bible. Not the Catholic
the lightning
Bible.
Says, I'm coming for you.
Or the lightning says, I agree with you, Glenn.
Oh, okay.
The Catholic Bible. You got the Catholic Bible, right?
Yes, that's my Bible.
There's a whole bunch of different Bibles. The Ten Commandments are also in the Jewish religious book.
And we know Hammurabi's Code is
that's predates it, though. That's
pre.
But what I love is they're denying that it was created, this law, for religious reasons.
No, it's going to make our education better. Our kids are going to be smarter.
And it's basically they're putting it up because it's the early legal system for our society. That's what they're saying.
Oh, so they're teaching history with it.
Now, the lady...
Then why isn't it just going in the history classroom?
Louisiana State Rep Dodie Horton.
Yes.
She's the one who sponsored this bill.
Is she the one who said that it would make our students smarter?
And they asked her, well, what about atheists? What about Muslims? And she goes, well, I'm not concerned with an atheist and I'm not concerned with a Muslim. She explained.
That was it.
Yeah. I'm concerned with our children looking and seeing what God's law is.
Okay. You do realize that a lot of listeners in our area would agree with that.
Here's the problem. Again, we're putting these in schools. You can agree with it all you want. But wait, they said this wasn't being passed for religious reasons because that violates the Constitution.
Okay.
The lady who sponsored the bill. I'm concerned with our children looking and seeing what God's law is, thereby implying one God,
her God,
King James Bible God, not any other God, not the Jewish God. He's different. Not the Catholic God. That's different. You see the problem? And this is what our founding fathers understood, by the way. These are the kind of problems that this would
they
cause.
were trying to circumvent.
And it's going to pass, no question.
Oh, it
Landry's
will.
going to sign it.
Absolutely. I know that.
And so we can put up.
No, it's already passed.
It may have.
At this point in our recording, I think it already passed.
Okay, he will. He's going to sign it. It doesn't matter.
Said first in the country to do this. So
well, the problem is courts are going to knock it down because it's obvious that it was created with religious intent.
You think that's how they'll do it?
Oh, yeah. Well, she says it.
No, how they'll stop it. I don't know that they'll stop it. I fully expect next to my "In God We Trust" sign next year.
What I think would be cool is put up the 10 Commandments, then put up the Jewish version, which, by the way, has 17 lines.
A little more restrictive.
And how about the Catholic one? Because there are differences. That's the weird thing. When you start researching it, there are differences. We're getting the Elizabethan King James version, but we have the Jewish version.
You keep saying that, but examples.
Well, in the Jewish Bible in the Exodus, it's 17 verses. They're not laws; they're verses. They weren't laws when they were created.
So they were suggestions?
No, they were verses within. And actually, the very first commandment, according to the Jews, is, I am the Lord your God who brought you out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of bondage. That's it. That doesn't even say anything for you to do actively.
He's just letting you know who's in charge.
Right. Okay.
Maybe he should tell,
it's left out of Christian text because it's not imperative, right?
It's not
an imperative.
Yeah.
The second commandment, you shall have no other gods before me, is the first Christian one. And Louisiana legislature will be using thou and shalt, just like the King James Bible.
Well, it would have sounded weird to say the 11 commandments.
But for Protestants, the second commandment is it's a variation on thou shalt not make for yourself a graven image. But that commandment is not found in the standard Catholic iteration, which instead divides the erstwhile 10th commandment into against coveting in two. They two.
Okay, not just covet thy neighbor's wife and covet thy neighbor's goods.
Right, and they don't have the graven image thing in the Catholic Bible, which is where Protestants say that's because you're a bunch of idol worshipers. I'm looking at you, Dib.
Yes, I remember when Scarlett came home from Camp Pearl with that line of thinking.
Now, that's the problem. Differences matter. even religions that
Yeah.
say they have the same God,
New
there are
religions have been
differences.
started over differences.
So this is going to cause a problem, I think, I'm a teacher. I teach civics.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. Am I allowed to discuss these 10 commandments? Because there are going to be kids.
If they
high school kids aren't stupid.
No, they're not.
And they're going to purposely ask questions about it, especially the adultery one. And
you know why? Because teenagers sometimes read the room.
And teenagers think for themselves. They're actual people.
They're moving away from their parents.
200 years ago, they'd have been fighting in wars and marrying and having children.
And raising farm animals.
And I realize we treat them like kids now, but the fact is their brains have only gotten smarter. They're not dumb.
I don't find that I complain
By the way,
about the youth as much as some.
Old teacher here. Kids today, sharp as hell. They are.
Yeah. Just maybe not.
I hear people go, "Oh, they're so dumb now. They don't know."
It's not the traditional things that you want them to be.
Well, they don't know the trivia from Jeopardy, but they know a lot more about how society works, which may make them, in effect, more able to navigate the world today.
Many of them are influencers.
Because God knows you can't navigate the American healthcare system. Can they do it? I wonder if they can do it.
No, it depends on how much money their family has.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Because
either you
as they said on South Park.
Either you get Lizzo if you're poor.
Yeah, it's if rich people get Ozempic, poor people get Lizzo.
You just need to be body positive. Is it time for my story?
Almost.
Okay.
Almost. We're going to save that violence history.
I told you that segue was going to go into my.
Well, I have to talk about something we've talked about before, a certain principle.
My story is something we've talked about before.
Okay, well, your story is going to lead us into...
It's going to end it.
Yeah, it's going to end it.
Because there's no place to go after this.
A while back, listeners of the Long the Boot podcast will remember. Harken back, if you will.
A year, 2 years, 3 years?
The year... it's 2023. Anyway,
last year.
Jason Pierre, principal of Walker High School in Livingston Parish, had a student. She was at a party, and she was twerking at the party...
In a video
and
that
this is an honor
filmed.
student. She comes to school the next day, and
he took away her
Pierre
scholarship.
took away his endorsement of her for a scholarship, which she no longer got.
Yeah.
And he stripped her of her position in the Student Government Association.
Mm-hmm. She lost her cheerleading position.
She lost her cheerleading position.
Tell me what cheerleaders do.
Wait. St. Pierre also scolded her daughter. The mother, Rachel, told the Advocate that St. Pierre scolded her daughter by printing out Bible verses and making them read them, and then said she wasn't living in the Lord's way because she twerked.
But she wasn't the only person in that video.
No.
And I question what dance line and cheerleaders do in the first place. I mean,
the mother was there, by the way.
Yeah, at the party.
The mother was at the party.
Yeah.
Eventually, he apologized and changed his decision regarding the Student Government Association, but she did lose the scholarship. And then he left. Well, he's been hired again, kids.
Yes, he's moved on.
Yes, he's going to be leading Acadiana High.
Oh, in Lafayette.
Yes, because you can't keep a good administrator
down. All right, well,
down.
Acadiana High, just get ready to
Don't
not
twerk.
dance.
Yeah, Acadiana High, no twerking.
No shaking.
Don't you shake your booty
or booties. Elvis, could Elvis have played there? Would that have been? See, I thought
Elvis
we had
is
moved.
king, baby.
I thought we had moved past that. There's so many things that we've moved. We just I don't know.
Everybody's got a little Elvis in them.
Actually, it's like at the theater yesterday, Memorial Day. We went to see
Furiosa.
Yes, and at the beginning, you always get that ad that says all these trailers have been approved for all audiences, right? All ages.
All ages. Holy shit.
The first bloody, horrific.
It was that Indian movie.
It looks cool as crap.
Oh, I can't wait to see it.
And it'll be entertaining.
But I'm not sure that seeing someone's head get crushed with a
is okay for all audiences.
Okay
and then Wolverine proceeded to ream us in the most vile language about using cell phones in the theater.
He was really
Deadpool had to calm him down.
Yeah.
But Wolverine cursed at us.
Deadpool saved it, though. I mean, he came out. He's like, buddy.
Man,
Wolverine was really pissed off.
And to use the F word and say the things he said to us, all ages. And I'm just looking at you going, my age is okay, but And granted, there were no kids in the theater.
But before the Indian movie, that's name I cannot remember.
No, but we're going to see it.
But we're going to see it because the guy basically just beats up a train full of people as he works his way through the train
to get his girlfriend.
Who's been taken.
Yes.
And
really, just
I know
give
it's
going to
be it's going to be just totally dumb.
Okay,
but
it's just. But that's our entertainment.
By the way, go see Furiosa.
Not everybody likes that kind of thing. We like it, but not everybody does. All right.
She made it epic.
And that was not the topic we were supposed to do, was it?
No, you were going to talk about that.
Oh, I get to go to mine now?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Speaking of letting people do what they're going to do. Okay. I read an editorial piece. I don't really know a lot of stars' names or anything, but the little girl, Emma Corrin, who played Princess Diana on The Crown. Emma Corrin is her name. And apparently her armpits have just created a sensation of hate.
What's wrong with them?
Well, Emma was recently viewed, and I'm going to call her they because that's what they say.
Whatever.
Okay. She's already used to dealing with the public and their views.
They are used to dealing with the public.
I can't do it.
I'll help you.
It has to do with hair, body hair. We've done the beards. We've talked about beards and hair a lot. We had an entire episode on that.
Yes, we did.
Well, we neglected a woman's armpit hair. We didn't really address that, but there is a history to that as well. And Emma's story made me go diving just a little bit, to find out what the heck. Why do we hate women having armpit hair? I remember when Madonna did it.
Well, it's gross and disgusting.
I thought it didn't look attractive, and I didn't really want to know anything about it. If you're going to have your armpit hair, just have it. If you're going to have your leg hair and not shave it, just have it.
I don't know. It's a personal preference.
So she's on Harper's Bazaar.
I don't actually care.
And she's displaying her hair, and she's taking shit from society, as famous people have to do.
Yeah.
You're going to put it out there.
I guess she's...
Yeah. So I went to the Smithsonian Institute to look at armpit hair.
Well, as you would.
As most normal people would.
I mean, when I think armpit hair, I think Smithsonian Institute.
Of course you do. So personal hair care products, right? Remove unwanted hair from the face and body. That is just part of hygiene.
Depilatory.
Yes, personal appearance. So because hair traps perspiration, it becomes a breeding ground for bacteria and odors. And for all of these reasons, by the early 1900s, being clean shaven. Oh, and Gillette came out with a safety razor.
Oh, yeah.
So men no longer had to,
So safe.
It's like,
That's why I got a spot on my chin that still doesn't grow hair.
I got a scar too. On my leg. I sure thought that safety razor was safe for my leg, but it was not.
Well, I was 5. I shouldn't have been shaving probably.
So about 1910, Gillette is now pushing hard, and you've got beautiful women and men clean shaven. Okay, but we're missing a whole segment of society, right? So around the 1920s, fashion designers began designing gowns with sleeveless. Yes.
Yeah.
And so now women have concerns that is going to, it's unattractive. It's masculine for a woman to have, underarm hair.
I guess.
Well,
didn't they always?
I assume they did, but now that fashion has drawn, so used to be a good woman was a good moral woman. And then in the 1920s, something happened and it shifted. It shifted her goodness from her morality to her body.
Oh, okay.
So now all of a sudden in 1920, a woman is a good woman if she's sexy, if she looks a certain way, if she has hygiene and cares about her appearance and stuff. So it no longer is that Victorian mindset, right, is out. So women are going to be clean shaven and,
And it's a very American thing, though. I mean,
it is. It is. Now, Britain, too, but it was America first. And it was, I need to find my section on the magazine because magazines that came out during that time began, the comment was, we're not here for women. We're here to sell products.
Right. We're selling products.
And so we had to keep coming up with new products, right?
God bless America.
That's it. The body itself became the fashion in the 1920s. So hair removal was promoted as a sex norm requirement for women. And so
the safety razors weren't safe enough for women to shave.
And then, of course, then women began looking at their upper lip, their arms, if you had any chin hair.
Sure. Get rid of all of it. It's gross.
So there was an advertising campaign that started in 1908 to show Americans that female underarm hair was offensive.
But don't you get rid of that hair on your head now.
And
don't you do it.
These industries, no, don't do that. We're the male hair removal product industry, right?
Yes.
So that would
chemicals that melt the hair off your body.
Yes, your skin becomes burnt.
Women were just chimpanzees being tested.
Well, we know because we know about what the vaginal products were for hygiene. Oh,
Here,
my
have some
God.
Lysol. Use that for your douche.
It was horrible. So the practice of removing hair, had been unheard of, and then all of a sudden the male people at Gillette said, we need to start promoting
we need a
this.
pink razor.
And the newly born popular and influential women's magazines. There you go. The big six at the time: Ladies' Home Journal, 1873.
Sure.
Women's Home Companion, Good Housekeeping, McCall's, and something called Pictorial Review that obviously didn't make it. The goal of advertisers was to not only fulfill women's needs, it was to create new needs.
New needs. Yep.
The amount of advertising for toiletries, beauty services was second only to advertisements for food at the time. Estimated advertising between 1890 and 1914 grew from 190 million to 682 million.
Yeah. Okay. I believe it.
Yeah. In such a short period of time. So we had improvements in printing, we had railroad transportation, postal services, made mass circulation.
And don't forget, psychologists looking at all of this as it happens.
And Freud coming out there going, women are sexually repressed.
Yeah, well.
Get out of your moral shit and
But it helps create the advertising business.
Yeah, and then become a sex object.
Yeah.
Yeah, I found it fascinating.
Women need to sell themselves.
And I also, the literacy rate, that's why I looked that up.
Oh, the literacy rate.
The population of women increased.
That should have been when we were talking about parents.
Literacy rates. Okay. Well, but think about this at the time. From 1890 to 1920, the population of women increased by 2/3.
Population of women?
Yes, more women than men. 1890 to 1920.
Why did so many people?
World War I? All the men?
Well, we didn't lose. I mean, we lost a lot of men.
I don't know. That was the only explanation I could come up with.
And that's too soon.
Yeah, I don't know. That's what this is. Okay, this is a Wikipedia, so I'm sorry.
But no, I mean their numbers. Their numbers are generally on.
The literacy rate, it says, jumped to 94% in 1920.
Okay, so we're at 94% in 1920.
In 1920. So then I said, well, I wonder what our literacy rate is now.
And that was.
And you made a guess for me. I said, Glenn.
Yeah, and I guessed 84.
You guessed 84%. Oh, there it is. What is the literacy rate today? And AI said in 2022, 79% of adults have English literacy skills that are sufficient to complete tasks like paraphrasing, comparing, and contrasting information, and they can make low-level inferences.
Okay.
Now.
So that's basically approaching basic on the EOC.
Approaching basic on the EOC.
Yeah, that's what that is.
Yeah. So 79%. So we're definitely down from 1920. But look what it got us. It got women conned into believing that they had to be a sex object and had to look a certain way and behave a certain way based on advertisers' design. Men had a conception of women, of what a woman should be because they're seeing it too. They may not buy the magazines, but they walk past, they see it, then they see the women.
Their friends are talking.
So now here we are getting lip injections and putting botulism in our faces and asses, and men are getting girth surgery. They take fat out of your belly, so it's like liposuction. So you lose
and then they
hair.
put it in a place that men would like to have more girth. Yes. I love that. Girth. Welcome to girth.
And tell me which group of men are getting this done most.
Wayne and Girth.
We're not going there again. I lived that day. Stop it.
Girth Brooks.
Now you're just doing this for us. Quit it.
Simon and Girth Funkel. Okay. I'm sorry.
Take a breath.
I'm sorry.
Okay. What group of men predominantly are getting the girth injections?
Oh, this is the fun part. Gay men. I'll leave it to you.
Yeah, we'll let the audience do that.
To ruminate and to stir that in your brain.
All right. So today, and I guess I don't really know what I'm going to, what the whole point of the whole
podcast?
Armpit.
Oh.
No. of the armpit thing was, Emma, grow your armpit hair.
Well,
I don't know.
care. Do what you want.
But they're doing magazines using the same magazines that got us in this situation.
Well, it is weird. I mean, you think about it, it is a strange thing. People go, it's weird women have. Well, no, it's weird that they don't.
That they don't.
And we make them work.
Yeah.
But I guess if you know what, if you're willing to take a needle to the face with dead botulism, then go ahead, shave yourself. I mean, if you're willing to go that far, you have the right to shave off your hair.
I don't care. If
you
are brave enough and you're going to take the hits from society, then do it. Eventually, the traditional views will die out because new generations come along.
Something's coming.
Look, generation is 20 years now.
Oh, yeah.
20 years.
20 years is a generation, more or less.
Yeah.
And
so it's all going to move.
And for you young people, take heart in the fact that many of us old people will be dead and you won't have to listen to us anymore.
Okay.
And then you'll get to be the old people.
Well, some young people do listen to what the elderly say. It may not change what they're doing now, but later when they get that age, they'll go, yeah, and that's the nature of things. That we know it. The people have told us, the people that love us and care about us have told us and warned us, but until you experience it and do it, you don't get the lesson.
And in the end, what do you have really other than
shit to maintain,
stuff to maintain, people to love?
Yeah.
And
you created some memories.
And I guess if you're one of those,
because once it's over,
the power to tell people what to do.
Those people.
Local boards. We didn't even get to talk about the local boards.
We left those people off because they meant nothing to me.
Well, it does mean something. BECI.
Oh, the BECI
and the fire thing.
The fire thing isn't my district. You're lumping everything in together. But it is people who have gotten to a level
who should be getting,
and they think that they're powerful and that all their stuff matters. And you know what? Take care of our roads. I got a bridge that's collapsing.
Yeah.
Fix people's roads. Take care of their water. Use the tax money for the right things, and don't take advantage.
Oh, don't even.
Ethics, Glenn.
What ethics?
Moral turpitude.
It's happening. It's happening right now.
Imperatives.
And they want to shut down again access to public records in Louisiana. What more do you need to know about your government when the guy that runs it wants to hide
and that's because
public records?
We're all seeing it. That's because now we have.
We would have never known otherwise, but we all see it now. Nobody's reading the room.
So do we think if we can't see the public records then that they're not doing anything wrong?
Is people are just like, yeah, I know it's wrong. I don't give a fuck. That's what I hear.
Ooh, you used the F word. I controlled myself earlier.
And I apologize.
You're angry.
But I am completely blown away by the fact they're being so bold about what they're trying to do, which is to create an authoritarian top-down government that will literally control everything you do and then tell us how they're going to make us freer while doing it.
And your peasant kids that went to public school, Yeah.
Read a history book.
20 years.
Read several.
Every 20 years.
It's happening. It's happening.
Okay. I didn't mean to go from arm hair to that. I was really just kind of saying.
I enjoyed armpit hair.
Let people do what they're going to do because life moves on. However, in the sense of government and people who are in charge and controlling things, they need to be called out. You need to diddy those people.
They work for us.
Exactly.
Weather don't give a front. They work for us. These are the first two commandments of the Long in the Boot podcast.
There you go. Oh, and
there we go.
Life is about balance.
Absolutely.
And you got to maintain everything you own.
Maintenance. So just maintenance.
Well, the more you own,
one word.
The more you own. The more you take on, the more you have to maintain.
All right. Well, what have we learned here today, Debbie?
That life is complicated, but yet it's also simple.
Okay.
We need people that are in power, but we also need them to be good and honest and actually care about society.
Please and thank you goes a long way.
Please and thank you goes a long way. I like to be clean shaven, but
Yeah.
And I'm not talking about where.
Whatever you want to do.
Yeah.
And so there you go. I guess that's it. We're going to wrap it up. We'll be back in 2 weeks after this podcast. We're not going back to the original schedule because we'll we have things we have to take care
We've
of.
been doing things.
Yeah, we have things.
Your joy is portable, though, and we're going to take it with us while we're doing our things.
Yes.
And then I'll bring my little notebook, and I'll take notes. Maybe we'll come up with something.
Oh, bound to.
Bound to.
Yeah, I'm sure I'll get in an argument with somebody, and we can talk about it.
You're going to get in a fight?
I don't know.
Well, we are going to an Avids concert.
I'm too old for that now. I don't want to get into an altercation at another Avett Brothers concert.
3 would be too much? 3 out of 4 concerts?
I just never expect. I could understand getting into a confrontation at a heavy metal concert. Avett Brothers.
When you feel a little aggressive. But
it wasn't me.
No.
It wasn't me.
All right, Diddy.
It wasn't me. It was that guy was one. And the other one was.
And then that guy's girl.
That guy's girl.
Which led to the guy.
That he wouldn't control.
Oh.
That's right. You heard me.
Oh. I was there. It's true. She was being a biatch.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, she was drunk.
Sit down.
Okay.
No one else in the place is standing. You're the only one.
You want perfection from society. We don't get it. We don't get it. Life moves on.
Put me in charge. I promise. People will sit down at concerts there.
At the appropriate concert.
At their appropriate concert.
There are some concerts you got to stand.
I'm willing to stand even at the Avett Brothers for a bumping number. But when they went and started doing Murder in the City and she was still standing, I snapped. I couldn't take it anymore.
Go see Furiosa if you can.
Furiosa! I'm getting pretty good at that.
Take care of your loved ones and shave if you want to.
There you go. Shave if you want to.
Bye, people.
Important words about an important topic.
I missed you, G.
See y'all in 2.